guys, and welcome back to my channel. I just had a eureka moment and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing and I need to share this with people. So in order to glow up and change your life, you just need two words. It's just that simple, just two words. One is yes and the other one is no. Recently I've started saying yes to a lot of things I would never say yes to, and it changed my life. And at the same time I've been telling no to a lot of things I would usually not say no to, and that also changed my life. So first I'm gonna start with saying no, because sometimes that's the hardest thing to do and it's like eating the frog. So I'm gonna teach you how to eat the frog and say no to certain things, and only when you do that you're allowing good things to come inside. So when you say no to things that are not serving you anymore and that are holding you back, so start saying no more in order to get more blessings and abundance into your life. Let's get started. Number one thing you need to say no to is toxic people. And how do you identify if this person is toxic if you don't know it? Is when you see a person and you deep down know that they don't have good intentions for you, or when you're around them and you're like, oh, it's such a pain to be around this person, or when you're around them and you have this really bad gut feeling, because your gut, no, it always knows. Your gut every time it knows. Don't ignore these feelings. Whenever you have a feeling that this person is not right, or if their intention is not right and something feels off about them, yeah, you know. So you have to stay away from such people. You have to straight up say no to hanging out with these people. No, you don't want to be with these people. You don't want to take their energy. You don't want to take their vibration. Not at all. And the same way, you are an average of the 5 people you hang out with. Why would you want to hang out with someone who's clearly toxic? Someone who clearly doesn't want good things to happen to you or themselves or anyone around them. Why would you want to be with a person like this? And I'm pretty sure they have their own insecurities and they're just projecting, but they need to do some healing, and you need to stay away from people like that. And people's opinions. This need not just be toxic people, but people in general. People have a lot of opinions, be it good people or bad people, and some do come from a place of love and concern, but most of the time it does not come from a place of love or concern. It comes from a place of envy or jealousy or just plain hatred. So what you gotta do is, first of all, eliminate people's unwanted opinion. You need to have a filter of what you want to take and what you don't want to take. You have to be the person to decide if you actually want to take this opinion, especially when they have an opinion on your life, the way you live, or your life choices, or anything that could actually shape up your life. If there's someone who should decide for yourself, it's you. You should decide for yourself, and you are the one that's supposed to be taking major life decisions, because you're the one who's going to be living with yourself. So selectively say no to people's opinions. Here are a few examples of saying no to people's opinion. It's just being neutral sometimes. Let me show you how. Hey, this new career of yours, I think it sucks. Ew, you wear so much makeup, it's like so fake. Okay, and? Beta, I don't think you should do the studies, please get married. Are a complete woman only if you get married and have children. Until that, no use. Your clothes are really inappropriate. Like, why are you showing your ankles? Ugh. Aww. I don't think you should apply to that job. You're not gonna get it. I don't think that university is going to accept you. A lot of time people's opinions, and especially toxic people and narcissistic and abusive people's opinions and comments could hurt you. So how do you not let it hurt you is you take their power away. You take their power away. Let me explain how. If they tell you something that's nasty, something which is really mean and that could possibly potentially hurt you, what are you going to do in a situation like that? Is simply take the power their word has. So let's say someone's telling you something in a different language, you don't understand it, and you're like, oh, I can't receive it, I don't understand it. But when someone says the same thing in a language you understand, you receive it and you're like, oh yeah, I understand it now. How? Because you understood what they said, you gave power to those words, and that's why it hit you. Whether it's positive, it hit you and you were happy, like someone called you beautiful and you feel, oh, that's so good. And the same way, if someone says something mean or hurtful to you, you are the one that's giving power to these words. Simply don't give them the power. Simply don't give their words the power. Simply don't give their words the power to hurt you. Who are they? Nobody. Who comes first in your life is you. You need to prioritize yourself, the good people in your life, and the bad people, just leave them behind. Now talk about a topic that's a very common thing in South Asian households, which is people pleasing. Let's be honest, if you're South Asian, you know we're not living for ourselves, we're living for, oh, what will people say? Oh, you did that? You chose an unconventional career path? What would people say? You're not fitting into this mold of normal the society has created. What would people say? I know, we've all gone through that. So let's discuss. There have been a lot of situations where I was a terrible people pleaser. I'm pretty sure a lot of you also have been in that situation. Here is an example of like 1,000 examples. Here's one. For example, the other day in the park, I had to get up. I had to pack all my things and I had to get up and go from the bench. But then some uncle came and sat with me, some random person. I don't know this person. Now, I didn't want to get up because I didn't want him to think I'm getting up because of him. I didn't want to be rude. So I sat there in the sun for a good 10 minutes, being burnt crisp. And you know how bad Indian summers are. And you can already see how I'm sweating. It's terrible. But then I sat in the sun because I didn't want the other person to feel bad. Yeah, this is like one of the 10,000 bajillion million examples of me being a people pleaser. And this is a very simple example. There have been, oh my goodness, a lot of crazy examples. But then now I'm just sticking to this because this is something that just happened. So I'm just telling you guys that. Now, how do you say no to people pleasing? Oh, this can be hard and it's gonna take a lot of time. But you know, it's gonna get better and you're gonna get better with practice. So what I like to do first is to see if my cup is full before I fill someone else's cup. So what does that mean is, before you're gonna help someone where you wanna please them and you wanna make them happy and you wanna give them the world and everything, you need to make sure if you've pleased yourself first. Have you given yourself the world? Have you prioritized your needs, yourself and your goals and your dreams before actually helping someone else reach their goals, dreams and life? Have you done that? If the answer is no, if your cup itself is just half or if it's empty, you know it's time to stop and fill your cup first before you fill someone else's cup. And also, why I say this is because when your cup is full, when you're truly abundant, you're overflowing with this abundance. Your cup is overflowing. That way, when you give it to someone, you feel good. You don't feel depleted yourself. You don't feel like you're sacrificing and you're just making this other person happy and everything. But when you are abundant yourself, when your cup is overflowing and when you give it to someone, when you give that love, that inspiration, anything to others, you feel like, you know what, I am fulfilled. People around me are fulfilled and everybody wins. Why should you let other people win and not win yourself? I just feel like everyone has to win, including me. You also have to win. It's not just others. And the next way to be less of a people pleaser is to actually have honest conversations with people. It could be uncomfortable sometimes, but then hey, it works out most of the time, like 99.99% of the time. For example, if you're not able to help a friend out who just asked you for a favor, you as a people pleaser would feel terrible and guilty and all that. It's okay to feel bad when you're not able to help a person and when you have something else to do. But then what you can do now is, instead of saying, oh no, I'll try somehow, I'll just do it for you, I'll finish my work first, or I'll finish yours first and then go get my work done. Instead, you can have an honest conversation with your friend and say, I'm really sorry, I have another priority which I've previously agreed on, and that's why I won't be able to help you. You know, that way you're having an honest conversation with your friend and you're truly sorry that you're not able to help them, but you're honestly telling them, instead of depleting yourself, instead of ignoring your priorities and your work and going and helping them, you're having an honest conversation. And if your friend is a good friend, they're going to understand. If they're a good friend. If they're not a good friend, why are they your friend? And the third way to reduce your people pleasing activities or tendencies is to know that it's okay for some people to not like you. Oh, I know. I know, when you're a people pleaser, you want most people to like you, you want all people to like you. So you just have to know that it's actually okay for some people to not like you. Because no matter what you do, some people are not going to appreciate that if it doesn't come from the right person, or if they're just a ghoul who's trying to like drink your blood. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's okay to be disliked by some people. I know it's hard for the people pleaser in you to think about that, but do really think about that. I think it's worth it. The next thing you should say no is to people that make you extremely uncomfortable. Now, for example, you have a friend who makes a joke at your expense and they don't feel guilty about it, and they're going to hit you with, oh, it's just a joke. Why are you taking it so seriously? That person. The next thing you have to say no to is peer pressure or your own fear of missing out, FOMO. I know FOMO can be really hard when you're young and there's so much happening and everyone around you feel like is having the best life. You feel like everyone's life is so happening because you just saw their highlights of their life on Instagram and you think that's the life they're living 100% of their time. But that's not true. You know, FOMO was just created by your mind because you want to experience it all, but deep down inside, I'm pretty sure you know you can't experience it all, and sometimes you have to selectively choose what you want to experience, what you don't want. Not let this FOMO hit you. You need to start by saying, no, I have plans. So how do you say no to this peer pressure first? Is, let's say your friend has called you out for an event or something, and you have another priority or another plans, and this plan could be anything. It could be playing with your dog, just sleeping and getting some rest, or gardening, or spending time with your family, or doing something that actually means a lot to you. But then now, because of FOMO and peer pressure, you don't want to disappoint this friend, you don't want to disappoint yourself, and you really want to go to this event, and everything is happening in your mind and you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? At that time, you need to ask yourself, what would actually bring me peace? What would actually bring me to true happiness? And if the answer is your gardening or your pets or your quality time with family, you have to say, no, I have plans, to your friend, no matter how bad it feels at that time. But then afterwards, you would feel happy that you actually stuck up for yourself and your plans, and you would feel happy about it. Okay, now that we've finished all the no's, let's come to the exciting part, which is saying yes. Although saying no to the wrong things have changed my life tremendously, and I'm incredibly happy. The same way saying yes to the right things has changed my life tremendously, and I'm incredibly happy, and I'm so excited to tell you guys this. And also, all these yeses work only when you've previously said no to the things that don't serve you anymore or serve your purpose anymore. So make sure you say no first and then you say yes. Okay, so the first yes you're gonna say is yes to new opportunities, to new experiences, to new everything in your life. When someone says, hey, I think you really need to apply to that college and apply to that scholarship, you say yes to those new opportunities. Or when you're offered a new job, you say yes to those new opportunities, because I understand it can be so hard when things are new and you don't know what to expect and what the future is going to bring. But then trust me, these new opportunities and grabbing these new opportunities can change your life. And I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot of people say that one tiny unimportant decision changed the whole trajectory of my life. Now just imagine how these important decisions in your life, important opportunities in your life, which you were about to slip away from you just because you were afraid, or just because you felt it was not right for you, or if it was not the right time for you. Imagine if you just let these opportunities slip away from you. First of all, yes, you're going to regret it, but then you would never know how amazing your life would have turned. And just for that, just say yes to those opportunities. Even though you may fail, you could fail, because that's what life is. You're going to learn something out of it. And you're not going to live with this regret of, oh my goodness, I kept saying no to those opportunities. And you're going to be 90 one day and you're going to think, how would life be different if I actually said yes to those new opportunities and new exciting opportunities? And the feeling of regret is stronger than the feeling of failure. You're gonna regret thinking, I could have been something great, but then I just let my fear get the I just let my fear ruin me, or I just let my fear rule over me. And I don't think that's okay, and I don't think it's fair, because you deserve the world. And say yes to growing pains or these uncomfortable situations that you know is going to actually evolve you and grow you. I understand it can be so hard because you want to be comfortable all the time. You want to be in this box of your comfort zone, but you need to know nothing grows in the comfort zone. Nothing changes in the comfort zone. Sure, you're gonna feel secure for some time, but then the reality is gonna catch up with you, and you're gonna know that you did nothing, and you sooner or later are gonna know that everything amazing in this life stays outside your comfort zone. And being outside this comfort zone can be uncomfortable, scary, weird, awkward, everything. But it's gonna be worth it. It's always worth it. And you wouldn't know it now. You would know it once you're out there and you're winning, and you look back and you would know those growing pains were amazing, and you would know that those growing pains were necessary. So one example of this is hitting the gym regularly. So in the beginning you start hitting the gym. What happens is you're sore because you are straining your muscles, and your muscles are not used to you straining them so much. And now you want to give up because you're so sore, your joint hurts, all your bones hurt, your muscles hurt. But then what happens when you keep going? When you rest, when you recover, and you go back, train, come back, rest, recover, train. But when time passes, you're going to see your muscles actually grow. You're going to see good muscles. Do I have good muscles? Okay, I don't know. But like, you're going to see your muscles show up, and you're going to see your muscles grow. And that time you're going to turn back and know that these growing pains were actually worth it. It's the same thing for any situation in your life. For it could be your academics, which is extremely hard. You have an extremely difficult major, and you have to swim. Just keep swimming, like Dory says, and you have to do it, because at the end, when you graduate with honors, you're gonna look back and say, hey, those late nights and those tears, this blood, sweat and tears, all of that was actually worth it, because it grew me, it evolved me, it made me a better person. So yeah, say yes to the growing pains. You're gonna be thankful to yourself because of what you went through now. You're gonna shine later. The more the pain, more the glory. Next is very important, and also something we don't do that often, which is being kind to yourself and others. A lot of times we are asked to be kind to others and be nice to others, which is great. You have to be nice to others, great to others. But then what you don't understand is you need to be kind to yourself too. How many times, just today, how many times have you been self-critical? How many times just today, did you look at the mirror and thought you want to change something about your face? Oh, my nose is too huge, my forehead is too wide, this is too big, that is too small, things like that. Oftentimes we are so cruel, yes, cruel to ourselves. And why is that? Why are we so self-critical? It's often like the way I look, I don't like the way I score, or I wish I had better grades, I wish I had, a better life, better this. It's okay to want better for yourself, but the tone of the tone, how you talk to yourself is not okay. Would you talk to someone you love the way you talk to yourself in private? I don't think so. Would you talk to the 5-year-old you the way you talk to yourself now? No. And you also know when you're mean or rude or be hurtful to others, they're going to feel bad, and they're going to feel hurt, and they're going to feel the pain. Do you not know? You're human too. You're going to feel the same things they're feeling when you're self-critical, when it comes from your own mind, your own self. Why is it so hard to understand? You deserve the exact same kindness that other people deserve, and the exact same kindness you give other people. So when you're self-critical, what happens is you're creating this negative energy there. But then if you're open and honest and kind to yourself, and you tell what you actually want to change, for example, I want to get better grades. Now, I can actually criticize myself and call myself dumb, call myself all those names and hurt myself. Or I can sit myself down and say, you know what? Okay, we're lacking here. we're gonna have this game plan, and we're gonna actually cross that mountain, the obstacle, together. I'm here with you. We are in this together. We are a team. And I'm pretty sure the second method is actually what's gonna help you and what's actually gonna work, and it's gonna make things better. So be kind to yourself and others, but mainly, more consciously to yourself, because that's where we lack. The next thing is my super weapon, which is willful ignorance. Okay, let me explain what is willful ignorance, or selective ignorance. I would like to call it selective ignorance. So basically what I do is I have filters everywhere. For example, news. There are a certain amount kind of newses I don't want to know about. For example, I don't want to know about political newses, or I don't want to know about bad newses. I would block those newses out. And I would block all the sources those newses come from. See, ignorance is bliss sometimes, because your mind is this much. You don't have to put all of the world's problem into it. And this is going to help your mental health tremendously. Selective ignorance, yes. So what you do is you only listen to the things that would make you happy. Let's say a certain kind of news triggers you. What are you going to do is either you're going to consume more of it and you are going to ruin your health, or you can be selectively ignorant and not actually consume such news, or news just in general, because there's so much happening in the world, and there is so much that you can't actually help in, and you're just going to consume it, and it's going to ruin your mind, quite honestly. So in these cases, just don't watch the news if it's something that you know is going to hurt you. Okay, the next thing is when you see a certain person and their life on social media and you don't really feel very good about yourself. It could be someone with an unrealistic body or an unrealistic lifestyle. So what you do is you actually go and unfollow them. And also in general, just keep your social media activity to a minimum, or have time limits to yourself, because social media is draining you. I'm pretty sure you know that. Social media is making you lose your focus, and social media is wasting your time so much. And also there's a lot of garbage on the internet and on social media, and that's where you need selective ignorance, because I don't think you need to know a lot of things. It's okay to not know a lot of things in the world. It's sometimes okay to live under the rock, because a lot of times outside this rock is filled with garbage that's going to contaminate you and your system, and why would I want to do that? Why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you want to contaminate your system? So yeah, live under the rock, practice selective ignorance. So I had the best save for the last. So this is an amazing thing, which is say yes to being spontaneous. Yes, you're young, you have your whole life ahead of you, and life is limitless. You are limitless, and a lot of times your own self-doubt is holding you back, and your own need to be safe all the time is holding you back from being spontaneous and going out and just living your life. So yeah, instead of overthinking, being overcalculative, sometimes you just have to go there, be spontaneous, and live your life. Like I said in the beginning of the video, all you need to say is yes and no. And these two magical words literally changed my life. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna change your life too. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye. And also the sun is blazing today, and this is not highlighted, it's just sweat.